no doubt that if Kai Havertz went to Bayern Munich and played for them next season, he'd be a success. He's obviously a good footballer, but in this league, in this team, forget it.
Nearly every week it's the same crap, and then there's one good week out of nowhere, and then we go back to him being offside 4 times, missing clear-cut 1v1s, barely going into 50-50s, awful hold-up play.
For 3 years straight since Kai Havertz has been at Chelsea, everyone on the planet, footballing-wise, has took the mick out of him.
Leave him, he won us the Champions League. How fucking long is he going to live off that open goal?
Oh, if Arteta wants him, I want him. If Arteta said get on your knees and gnaw me off, would you do it?
Yes, Kai Havertz for me is without a doubt the most polarizing player in the Premier League, or really in world football. Definition of polarizing: causing strong disagreement between opposing factions or groups. The amount of conversations, the amount of debates about this player is remarkable, and it's solely around one topic. How do you get the best out of Kai Havertz? What is his position? Is he a number 10? Is he a centre mid? Is he a Mazzala? Is he a second striker? Is he a false 9? No one knows. Before Kai Havertz joined Chelsea from Bayer Leverkusen, he was seen as one of the world's most exciting up-and-coming talents, and they had good reason to believe that he could be one of the next best generational players. In the 2018-19 season, at the age of just 20, he scored 17 goals and 3 assists in the league, and the next year added to that with 12 goals and 6 assists. The numbers may not look absolutely incredible, but there was a lot of potential there. Even the Bundesliga website back in 2020, not really knowing, is he a midfielder or a striker? And statistically, he had pretty good defensive traits. Great ball retention with very high recovery stats as well, but attacking wise, he seemed to always be more drifting to the right hand side to cut in on his left foot, but rarely ever entering the penalty box. So what is his position? We still don't know. 4 years later. Tell me right now down below in the comments, what is Havertz's best position or his best attribute? Tell me down below because I really want to know. And also, if you're new, then please do smash a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. Thank you for 374,000 subscribers as well. And for this video, I would do the code Havertz for 15% off all items on mazzaladesigns.co.uk, the best football print service on the market, my own design company, link down below top of the description. Let's begin with the words of a man that knows Kai Havertz pretty well, in Thomas Tuchel. This is how he described him. He is a unique player. It's not so clear where he needs to settle. Does he need to settle on one special position, or is he kind of a hybrid player? Today I would say he is between a 9 and a 10. So a 9.5, I guess. He's comfortable in the box, high positions, offensive headers, good timing, arriving in the box, good finishing, good composure in and around the box, and very comfortable in high positions. That is the words of Thomas Tuchel. Now, some Chelsea fans may be listening to what I just said and laugh. That is because in the last season or so, since Kai Havertz put the ball in the back of the net in the UCL final, and even parts of that first year too, it's been relatively underwhelming and most really confusing when it comes to Kai Havertz at Chelsea Football Club, and now entering his new era at Arsenal. At first in the 2021 season, Timo Werner was much more of the runner in a team, which stretched and stressed the opposition defences, while Havertz can exploit the spaces created and pick his moments to run into the penalty area. And then with Werner dwindling down in the 21-22 season, he then used Havertz in a sort of Roberto Firmino-esque pressing number 9, or really as what we know of as a false 9. Tuchel liked him in this role because of his high intensity, his pressures in the final third, and just really his all-round work rate, and this kind of makes him a sort of defensive forward, something that Wout Weghorst gets mocked at for being compared to. The main issue is that statistically he's not really a number 9 or a person that you can look at to get goals in terms of XG and shots per 90 minutes. He's by far the lowest in terms of top top elite attackers in the world, averaging 2.1 attempts per 90 minutes, and when compared to the likes of Gabriel Jesus, Haaland, Harry Kane, Salah, Marcus Rashford, he's far off. Despite his highest goals in a season being 14 in the 18-19 season, he was playing as a number 10 in a 4-2-3-1, or as a sort of right-sided attacking midfielder in a 3-4-2-1 system. Therefore, he can go on and cut inside on his left foot and take advantage. The issue of him being more of a sort of false nine and not behind a striker is that it limits his Havertz opportunities to link up play between the lines. I would describe Kai Havertz of almost entering the Paul Pogba paradox, that it's almost a case of, can we get a player to unlock him? And that's the main narrative the entire time. Because same thing with Paul Pogba, even though Pogba showed it a lot more often, is that you always felt like that there was still something to unlock there, that he wasn't playing to his fullest consistent quality. And if you can unlock that, then you got a real player on your hands. However, similar to Pogba at Man United, it never lasted and was always frustrating at best. People saying that for Havertz to work in a sort of false nine system, that he must have a sort of really aggressive wide forward alongside him, someone like a Salah or a Marcus Rashford that can be a really high top goal scorer. And that was something that Chelsea never really had, but he had some great nights that frustrated the Chelsea fan. A match against Dortmund at home in the Champions League, he had a fantastic night and linking up play well, pressuring well and creating good opportunities, holding up the play and bringing players involved as well, that you can see that there is quality there. However, it's just simply not consistent enough. And now he's at Arsenal, which no one really saw coming before the season ended. A lot of the summer has been going into how exactly will Kai Havertz work in Mikel Arteta's style of play. Taking the first big game of the season in the Community Shield, how did he do? Well, he used him as a striker again. Despite him initially being imagined as a left-sided number 8, as a high attacking and progressive number 8, starting as a number 9 in the Community Shield raised a few eyebrows, as described by Mikel Arteta, saying that he's played majority minutes as a attacking midfielder, but he can play on the right. He has played as a winger, coming inside as a number 9, or as a false 9. So we will see. No one knows where this guy should be played. I find it insane because no one knows. I don't think even he knows. The most obvious thing you would say is, oh, well, a number 10 is probably where you should play him. However, in comparisons to a number 10 like an Odegaard, he's nowhere near as technical on the ball that he would have to be in that position. In terms of opening up and unlocking the defence, he's nowhere near in terms of Odegaard for me, in terms of that sort of passing, creative, final cutting edge. The big thing that makes Havertz unique and almost kind of annoying is the fact that he's 6'4", which makes him typically not as nimble on the ball in comparison to a sort of natural number 10 who is a lot more technical, like an Odegaard that can dribble past a player, drop a shoulder a lot more easily, and it kind of makes him a bit more of an obvious sort of target man, which makes you think that he's more ideal for sort of anchor play and bringing the team together and being used as a link-up play kind of player. So I understand why the idea of him being a false 9 makes sense, because false 9 is never really seen as the main goal scorer in a team when you compare to the likes of Roberto Firmino at Liverpool, that it was more about bringing the other players involved and making it all tick. At a team like Arsenal that have got some pretty good attacking players that are aggressive and can score goals, and Saka, Martinelli and even Trossard, then you can understand the idea here. But then lies a problem. When he plays as a false 9, he's not big enough in physicality. He's got the height, but in terms of his physical edge, he's not got what it takes at an elite level to really dominate. So he still fails there, and also his actual final finishing. And in the Community Shield, he had 1 or 2 pretty good opportunities, but just didn't have the clinical edge to make it count. And in the next game against Nottingham Forest at home, he then played as the left-sided number 8, linking up well the likes of Martinelli and Timber, and just creating the sort of triangles in that left side of the pitch. But when you're spending the money that you're spending, £90 million worth at Chelsea, £65 million worth at Arsenal, are you really wanting him to be a player that's just okay to move the ball forward and to be more of a squad player, or do you want more from him? Now, the main thing to really come across here is the fact that I don't think Havertz is a bad player. I just think that at a high elite level, he's not really got a key strength that you think, okay, he nails that role. When you look at Odegaard, you know that he's a number 10. When you look at Saka, you know that he's a right winger. You know what his main traits are in 1v1 situations and the intelligence to make the right move at the right time. With Havertz, he's not that elite level in really any position for me. He's just okay and decent in a lot. Kai Havertz for me is the epitome of the old famous saying, jack of all trades, master of none. That he can do a bit of everything. He's not exactly really bad at one thing, but he's not exactly amazing at anything either. I went to Twitter to ask you guys what is Kai Havertz's best attribute, and I've got his smile, aura, his height, his beautiful blue eyes, attacking spaces, moving into space, he's tall, movements, and the last thing, positioning and his height helps. So, you know, Peter Crouch may do a good job. That's the thing, when you're spending this much money on a player, you kinda are wanting a bit more than movements. I can move on a football pitch. I believe with Arteta, he wants a team that will always keep the opponents guessing about what he's going to do next. He has players that can go in several different roles and that he can just go and whack out a different team across any part of the game. Before facing City in the Community Shield, it was between Trossard or Nketiah to start up front, and Arteta picked Havertz. And before Forest, the debate was Havertz or Trossard, and Arteta went with Nketiah. And having that unpredictability and players that can go in any other position is what he sees as a strength, and is something that you can really compare to a Manchester City team that, the likes of Phil Foden, can go anywhere across the entire front four, or even deeper as a sort of number 8, and you can see the kind of similarities here. If Kai Havertz played at a Bayern Munich or a Man City, can you see him being a great player? And I think I can. I don't really know what to say now, because I don't know the answer to this. It's just kind of a conversation about just a really confusing footballer. What do you think is the reason why Kai Havertz hasn't matched the expectations that people expect from him? Is it our fault for having expectations that may not be fair to give on to him? Or do you think that it's something that he could be doing himself? Tell me down below in the comments. I'll see you guys next time.